Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving straight into the highly anticipated details surrounding an absolute titan of Indian roads. You know what I'm talking about. We're looking at the new generation Toyota Fortuner.
Right off the bat, there's a massive question looming for SUV buyers right now. See, Toyota recently updated the Hilux pickup, but with very minimal changes and just a tiny price hike to match. And that sparked a massive debate. Will the beloved Fortuner suffer the exact same conservative fate when its time comes? To figure that out, here's our agenda. 1. The Toyota Hilux precedent. 2. Redesigning the exterior. 3. Premium interior and tech. And 4. Launch date and pricing. Let's jump right into Section 1, the Toyota Hilux precedent, and setting the baseline for Toyota's updates. So the reality is, the Fortuner and the Hilux actually share a ton of automotive DNA. They're both built on the exact same rugged ladder-on-frame platform. And because of this, they actually share very similar off-road functionalities and base equipment lists. They are, essentially, siblings beneath the sheet metal. However, the crucial thing to understand here is how they differ in the market. The Hilux just isn't a core high-volume product for Toyota in India. Because of that, if they offered a massive, advanced suite of new features, it would simply inflate the pickup's price way too much for its specific niche. That is precisely why Toyota kept those recent updates so minimal. Moving right along to Section 2, redesigning the exterior, a fresh look for the Fortuner. Now, while we definitely expect the Fortuner to share some visual design language with the new Hilux, it's actually getting a much more distinct visual overhaul. We're talking a bold new honeycomb-type grille, completely updated headlamps and taillamps, revised bumpers to give it a way fresher stance, and some brand new alloy wheels. It's absolutely a step up in terms of sheer road presence. But don't expect a completely alien vehicle here. The overall dimensions and that classic commanding silhouette of the SUV, those are expected to remain exactly as they are. You're still going to instantly recognize it as a Fortuner the second you see it rolling down the highway. All right, let's step inside for Section 3, Premium Interior and Tech, a major leap forward. So, unlike the Hilux we talked about earlier, the Fortuner is a massively popular core product for Toyota. Because of that sky-high demand and some incredibly fierce segment competition, Toyota is highly incentivized to aggressively upgrade its features. Actually, they're expected to push more of these premium features right down into the lower trim models, just to keep buyers happy. And this brilliantly illustrates that contrast. While both vehicles are finally moving to a modern 12.3-inch infotainment screen, the Fortuner literally leaves the Hilux's basic 7-inch cluster in the dust. The Fortuner is upgrading to a massive 12.3-inch TFT instrument cluster for the driver. That is a game changer for the overall cabin experience. Mechanically, there's also a massive upgrade happening right beneath that new dashboard layout. Toyota is finally expected to swap out that heavy, traditional hydraulic steering for a slick, modern electronic steering system. Seriously, for anyone who has ever tried to parallel park a Fortuner in tight city traffic, this is a highly anticipated quality of life upgrade. Rounding out the interior tech, the list of additional upgrades is just incredibly appealing. We're anticipating a fully integrated, factory-fitted 360-degree camera. So yeah, no longer just a dealership accessory you have to tack on. We're also expecting an ADAS safety suite, though, whether it'll be standard ADAS or feature level 2 functionalities is still unconfirmed. And perhaps best of all for the Indian climate, those highly desired ventilated seats are expected to drop down into the lower 4x2 variants rather than being locked away just for the top-tier 4x4 buyers. Which brings us to Section 4, launch date and pricing, and what it all means for your wallet. Now, you're going to need to exercise some serious patience here. Toyota hasn't officially revealed the exact timeline yet, but all current expectations and source details point to a mid-2027 launch for this new generation. So realistically, we're still a couple years out. To really understand the upcoming financial impact, we have to look at the current baseline. The current generation Fortuner already commands quite a premium, right? It sits between 41.63 lakh and 62.47 lakh rupees on road in Mumbai. Well, because of that extensive feature list and those major mechanical upgrades we just walked through, expect those prices to take a noticeable hit. Projections show the price increasing anywhere from 80,000 rupees up to a maximum of about 1.5 lakh rupees, depending entirely on which variant you choose. So I leave you with this final thought to consider. With a launch still a few years away and a totally noticeable price hike on the horizon, do these massive tech, comfort, and design upgrades make the new-gen Fortuner worth the wait? Or does the current model offer exactly what you need today? It's a really fascinating shift in strategy for Toyota's flagship SUV. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and as always, keep learning.